Hi folks, Kyle here. I have a short video for you about the course summary in Canvas and then also the student view. So I'm going to hop into a course here and we take a look at the summary through the Syllabus tab. Syllabus tab up at the top is a good place for you to link your syllabus if you want. The bottom part, a lot of people have questions about this, is automatically generated. So there's nothing you need to do to create this other than one thing, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And that's the good thing, that there's nothing that you have to do to create this, but the bad thing is you can't edit it. So this is a permanent part of Canvas, and it's there to help students navigate your course. So we're in this course, and in this particular course, we can see that, hopefully you see that this is a fairly well-organized course summary page. How did these get here? These assignments and these discussions and so forth. These are automatically populated based on due dates that you give for various student performances. So anytime you issue an assignment, a test, a quiz, a discussion, a project, and you give it a due date, it will show up here on this course syllabus page. So it's a great way to kind of automatically generate a list that really help your students kind of navigate your course. So it's something that you'll want to make sure that you highlight to your students that this thing exists. Some of them know, some of them don't, some of them heavily rely on it. But we want you to get into the habit of making due dates and not leaving those due dates kind of open, because the second you put in a due date and you hit save, then this list here in the summary automatically populates. So that's how the course summary gets there. Now I want to take you into a course where maybe this isn't so nice and neat. Let's see if I can find one. So I found a course here where the summary page isn't so nice and neat like the last one was. So let's take a look at this summary page. We can see lots of assignments here, and they are in chronological order, so there's nothing wrong with that. So far, so far, so far. And then we get down to the bottom of this grayed out area, and then we have a list of these other types of things. And you will see this too, especially if you've taught the course for several semesters since CBU moved over from Moodle and into Canvas. These are old course assignments that are no longer published, but that are a part of your course because you've copied the course. So they appear to you, but do not appear to students. And for some of you, this may be a really, really long list. So you may be scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And on one hand, that may completely drive you crazy. I know I'm still not quite 100% settled with that. But on the other hand, you know, this list is automatically generated and there's nothing really we can do about this unless we want to go back into these learning assets and delete them. Maybe you want to do that and maybe you don't. Entirely up to you. There are times that I've had courses that I've gone ahead and done that and actually used this list. It's a decent list to say, oh, wow, yeah, so I need to go back and delete week 3 discussion 2 because I've redone that. So I'll go back into discussions and delete that. But sometimes maybe the list is so long I don't even want to bother with it. And ultimately it doesn't really matter. But here's what I really want to show you. And now this gives me an opportunity to get into student view. So we want to see the difference. What do I see versus what does a student see? So just to access student view, we always go back to the home tab, of course. And then over here in the menu bar at the right, there's a student view. It's super handy, especially if you're towards the end of designing a course, to kind of take a look and spend some time in the student view to see what your course looks like. So we'll see automatically that we have a magenta ribbon that's popped up at the bottom, and that's actually telling me that I'm in student view. This is how I would leave it too, by the way, by clicking this button that says leave student view. So now I'm looking at this as a student. So I'm going to click over here in the syllabus. This is what the student sees. Remember this grayed out area, and then we get to the end of it. This also tells me that my end of course evaluation doesn't have a due date yet, and so I probably want to go back in and give it a due date. So my point is here that the student view can be pretty powerful in terms of helping you put the finishing touches onto your course, give you a good guide about what's published, maybe and what isn't, or what has dates and what doesn't. But the main point that I wanted to make here is that messiness that we saw in the course summary view. Most of it, at least down at the bottom of the gray area, that's stuff that only I can see. So students can't see all that mess, which is, I think, a fortunate thing. Now, it may still drive you crazy. There are some courses that I've designed that it still drives me up the wall. Whether you want to do something about that, again, I've talked about that a little bit earlier in the video, I think is entirely up to you. But that's, in essence, a little bit about the course syllabus, how these pieces of content got there, and maybe underscore the point that it's probably good to show students that these exist, especially if they don't know what it is. Thank you for watching.